Okay, let's return to the election campaign now. And joining me is Liberal Senator Holly Hughes and Sky News contributor Steve Price. Welcome to you both. Well, Peter Dutton was in Victoria today trying to water down concerns about slipping poll numbers, and he was also wants to win over marginal seats in Melbourne. Here he was with Andrew Clennell today.
Labor see you personally as a drag on the Liberal vote in Victoria. What do you say to that?
Well, I've seen the Prime Minister's numbers, and I wouldn't be skirting too much if I was a PM about his position. He's not far off where Jacinda Allen is in Victoria at the moment, and people know in relation to this project that if you vote for Anthony Albanese, you're voting against this Melbourne rail link and the airport link.
How many seats are you going to win here? Do you hope to win here?
I think we can win a number of seats, and I think we can form government, as I've said, consistently, and we will demonstrate to Victorians and Australians that there is a much better way for our country.
All right, well, Steve Price, we just heard Dutton say there that he's hoping to win a number of seats in Victoria. This is really the hope for the coalition side. What's your reaction to the mood on the ground?
Labor's completely toxic, the brand in Victoria. You and I have talked about this before, Sharri. I mean, the Jacinda Allen government, their polling numbers are atrocious. She's not been able to con the public like Daniel Andrews was able to do. The suburban rail loop, which now we know is not going to be funded by a coalition government if it gets elected, is a mess. There's a big hole in the ground. It's costing billions and billions of dollars. No one wants to go from Cheltenham to Box Hill, and Jacinda Allen's determined to hold herself to it. So what's happened here is Peter Dutton, I think very cleverly, has said, OK, we'll put money into other projects, but not this one. But Victorians have got a great history of money being ripped up and wasted on things that never happened. I mean, you go all the way back to when Daniel Andrews became Premier here. He ripped up and wasted $1 billion of taxpayers' money by not building a freeway. He then spent $800 million giving the Commonwealth Games to Glasgow in Scotland. So there's nothing about Labor that people in this state enjoy. And I think in the outer suburbs, particularly with the petrol excise policy, which I'll be interested in what Holly says about how that's biting, that is going to be the big thing. People filling their cars up 3 days a week to sit on the Monash freeway for an hour and a half every day, in and out, burning up petrol. They know that the tanker petrol that they are going to get a discount from Peter Dutton is well worth it. And I think he will win a swag of seats in Melbourne.
Now, Holly, I was speaking earlier in the show about Labor disunity. Well, how's the coalition feeling? How are Liberal MPs feeling, given the polling does show there has been a recovery for Labor?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think everyone was aware that we would always see a tightening up of the polls as soon as the election was called. I think for a lot of people, and us included in the bubble, we've all been looking at this for months and months and months now in anticipation of the election being called. There's a lot of Australians out there doing it really tough on cost of living. You know, there was some vox pops the day after the budget, and people were like, what's the budget? What are you talking about? They didn't even know what it was
scary.
on.
It's scary.
So I think, and they have the same vote as you and I.
Yeah.
But so I think the mood is good. The mood is positive. We know that we have a huge battle ahead of us. 22 seats is an enormous ask. There hasn't been a first-term government kicked out since 1931. This is a very big ask, and we certainly are the underdogs. But we know that Australians just can't afford 3 more years of this government in the way they've already destroyed our country and what they will continue to do the wrecking ball through.